One of the craziest endings to a football game at Anfield. 105 minutes of football, loads to get into, but in the end, it's City that beat Liverpool 2-1 at Anfield, meaning the Premier League title race, it looks like this. Arsenal, the league leaders, they thought they could have had a 9-point cushion, but in the end, it's going to stay at 6, and Manchester City stay on the heels of the Gunners. Well, that was just absolute madness on the Merseyside, wasn't it? If I told you Alisson was somewhere in the midfield, a long ball gets played through, Haaland and Szoboszlai are battling, the ball looks like it's rolling in, one pulls the other, Szoboszlai gets sent off, the goal goes in, and then it's chalked off. Nige, what would you have thought?
I would have said you were absolute bonkers. It was madness at the Merseyside today. I cannot remember a crazier Premier League game like that in years. Like, it was unbelievable. And you said, yes, Man City won today, but the biggest win is the Premier League title race. That is what most neutral fans wanted there. Manchester City win. They keep the pressure on Liverpool after going a goal down to probably one of the best free kicks you'd ever see in Premier League history, to come back with a Manchester City that we've also criticised a lot in the second half, how they lose their way, to come get a winner and also add another goal in that dramatic fashion. Unbelievable. That's why the Premier League is one of the best leagues in the world right now.
No, not what. The best league. The best league in the world. That's why we love watching it. It was chaotic. It was crazy. Quality on show, but also there's some weird plays, and you're like, is this Sunday league or this professional? It's why the league's so good, and it's why we enjoy talking about it. But for me, unfortunately, we have to talk about that very, very poor referee decision. I know, matter of fact, yes, it's a red card. Yes, we should go back. But Shirky's just scored from the halfway line. And in my opinion, this is where NFL and American referees get it right. That would just be two fouls, offset each other, crack on, and it's a great moment. But it takes all the joy out of it. But what a wonderful game, and pretty sure Papa are about to get into it.
And I think for me, just to go to what Troy said there, sorry, Poppy, it annoys me because you look at everything we just witnessed. We sat and we were bored for the first 45 minutes, if we're honest about it. It wasn't a great game in the first half. It was mainly played in the middle of the pitch, not too many incidents. Came alive in the second half. Why we love the game of football. And it's Liverpool are chasing to try and get that equaliser. Yes, they make a mistake. They know, all right, we could concede another goal. Like Troy said, both players tugging at each other. The ball goes in. Let the goal stand, because just after that, the referee was going to blow for his final whistle. And now, because of over-refereeing, because of us trying to make an imperfect game perfect, Szoboszlai now gets a red card, who's going to be suspended for 2 games now for Liverpool and miss 2 games. For what reason? For a free kick for Manchester City, for a goal from the halfway line to be chalked off, and for the referee to blow the whistle in that last moment. That is the bit that frustrates me there, because both sets of teams were not arguing about it. From Liverpool's perspective, we're trying to chase a game, get an equaliser, we concede a goal, no problem, let it go. Manchester City celebrating emotions. Now, all of that is taken away because of our pursuit of perfection that's never going to happen in a game of football.
It was madness, though, wasn't it? One pull, you think, common sense, maybe that pull, chalks out another pull, but obviously not to be like that. I think the biggest thing is, though, City won't mind in the end with the points, whether it's 3-1 or 2-1. How happy will Pep Guardiola be now to be within 6 points again of Arsenal, and as well with the new signings that he's made over this winter window, Nige?
I would be very happy. Very, very happy. I say when I look at Pep Guardiola right now, for me, I see a very determined Pep Guardiola. This has probably been his most difficult time or period as a manager. When you look at every club that he's been at, the luxury he's had, the resources he's had, this is the most difficult period he's had to face. You talk about last season being the transition period. This season now, he probably believes that he can compete, and his team could probably peg back Arsenal to win a Premier League title. He truly believes that. We interviewed 1 or 2 of the Manchester City players this midweek in the Carabao Cup. There's a belief in this dressing room. So for me, that is massive points for him to keep the pressure on Arsenal. And it's a manager that I see determined to say, yes, I'm willing to override this adversity. This is my most difficult time as a manager, and I'm willing to get over this hump and prove to people I am still the greatest.
I think we talked to the winter signings of Semenyo and Guiu, and obviously how well they played. Donnarumma makes an unbelievable save to keep it 2-1. If he doesn't make that save, it goes in again. They had Trafford, saw what happened there, it didn't work out as well. I just think the way that Man City have purchased Donnarumma, what, for £30 million, I think it was. Wasn't that expensive.
Yeah.
Get somebody like that gives you the confidence as a team. He's going to make big saves. He's going to get us out of it. And then just think to the mental shift. So Arsenal, in the 80th minute must have been going, oh my God, job done. We're 9 points clear. There's no way they can catch us now. And the mental shift, not only did Man City score and get the winners, they then have the goalkeeper make an unbelievable save. Instantly now, they're looking at the bench. We've got Diaz back. John Stones is coming back. Doku's coming back. Savidio's coming back. Wait, we're starting to feel that the momentum's coming into our way. So much more to play for. And mentally, I think this is all moving into Man City's favour and make them more confident. But if you're Arsenal, you just keep doing what you're doing. Another 3-0 win. And weirdly, we're not giving them credit for doing an unbelievable 3-0 victory against a Sunderland team that's flying. Yeah, and it also adds to what Troy said there. I think the great thing about that as well, Semenyo's impact has been instant. He hasn't had to come to embed himself and take time to... Mark as well, right?
Mark as well.
Yeah.
Today, he had a fantastic game today, and it shows why they pursued him. And it's funny enough that he has such a great game against the team that was supposed to sign him in Liverpool, and they missed out on that signing. So the signings that he's made, the impact that they've had instantly is massive. Guehi playing alongside Kushinov, for me, I think is absolute match made in heaven. Kushinov, young player, has all the attributes, needs to step up in his football intelligence, in his understanding of the game, thinking of the game, not just relying on his athleticism and his attributes that he has. O'Reilly in midfield makes a big difference with the legs that he has. When you look at the two senior citizens like Troy and myself, Rodri and Silva, O'Reilly brings that youthfulness there. Marmoush had a good game today, but Semenyo, and Troy makes a great point tactically. They changed their style in how they normally play. If you look at Manchester City now, when they do have possession, they go to a front two. They go to big man, little man. So for me, it'll be like, I'm the big man, he's the little man in a front two pairing. And Pep goes a bit direct at time. You've got to be over 6 foot to be a big man, right?
He's 5'11".
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
He's on the edge.
But I do think there's a great point in this as well. When you look at Nico O'Reilly, played at left back for a large part of the season, helping out, doing something for the team. He then goes in midfield, he gives them legs, he gives them pace, he gives them energy. And obviously he's got the natural qualities within there as well. But it allows for Rodri now to feel a little bit more safe. When you've come back from injury and you know, my body's not right there, I've not had a pre-season, I'm trying to get fit on the job, he can now pick and choose his moments. And I just think Nico O'Reilly's been fantastic for them in that position. You then look to the bench, Reinders can come in now and add a little bit. Phil Foden didn't even come on today. It's only a month ago we're talking about how well he's doing, and potentially someone like Eze might not even go to the World Cup because of how well Phil Foden's doing. So I think today was a wonderful example of why City will have the confidence, but it's also a massive glaringly obvious worry for me. Kushinov, as you say, he's learning on the job. They have to get another centre-half back in. They need to get Diaz in or the likes of John Stones next to Mark, because when they've got the two of them, now you've got a solid foundation and then you could organise it. Just think, and we haven't even spoke about it, that moment for Aït-Nouri when he breaks away. Yeah. If Liverpool would have got back into he breaks away, for people that haven't seen, he breaks away 1v1. You're thinking, go to the corner. Either score or go to the corner.
He could have scored, because for me, it was he had two City players alongside him in Haaland and Silva in the box, where he kept on going towards the left and made it a more difficult angle for himself. If he moved a bit more to the right, it was a 3v1 situation versus Konate, and then he has the shot, and Alisson makes a great save where that could have been the game put to bed there, and then Liverpool came down the opposite end and maybe could have created something to score.
Just before we talk about Liverpool, obviously we know Manchester City's chasing Arsenal. How interesting does this make the Carabao Cup now? It being 6 points still, the Carabao Cup being the first game of the season that we'll see of huge importance in terms of the trophy. But the reality is City and Arsenal, they're going to meet plenty more times this season in the Champions League, the Premier League, potentially in the Champions League, but in the Premier League as well. You say, Nigel, you'd rather be the chaser in this situation, right? Would you? Would you rather be Manchester City in this situation?
I think if you're Manchester City, yes. I think momentum favours you, because there's always that question of Arsenal look great, but they haven't done it. We've given them all the credit that they deserve to get. We've given them their flowers, but yet they still haven't done it. Manchester City have done it, and Troy makes the point, which is right. They've got players coming back now. Guehi's fitted in fantastically well. Now imagine Guehi and John Stone next to each other now, understanding that you've got a world-class goalkeeper in Donnarumma that can match Arsenal. So now they're getting defensively strong, and then now their attacking is starting to come together as well. I would say, you'd have to say, especially a win today, confidence will be in that Manchester City team.
Yeah, I think for balance and fairness, you would always want to be Arsenal. Arsenal haven't shown you a kink in the armour this season. So you'd have to say they will feel confident.
They've shown you shakes, a little
well, if they're shaking,
shake against Manchester United,
if they're shaking and 6 points clear, I'd much prefer to be that. But I do think the problem for Arsenal will always be they've got the last 3 or 4 years always just hanging over their head. Until they get over the line, unfortunately, this is always going to be that kind of conversation. And I just think to answer your question, I think when you look at Man City, there's so many mental games that's going to be played between now and the Carabao Cup final. They have to keep winning. And that's why this feels, and the emotion of the game felt so big, because if they lost it, I'm pretty sure they would all say, league's done.
Yeah. Bernardo Silva, actually, I was just reading, did say that after the game. He said there was a sense that the title race would be over inside if we were to lose today. Obviously, they've kept everything alive. Just very quickly on Liverpool, that's got to feel like a real gut punch, hasn't it? Especially considering 6th place in the table. They're still on the outside looking into Champions League. So much going on at Liverpool. Arne Slot recently talking about, style of play and processes over winning trophies. At a club like Liverpool, I don't believe you can say that. I think Liverpool have just got back to that place of winning again. They've went through that transitional period under the likes of Brendan Rodgers and Roy Hodgson. Now they're in a position where they want to be winning and they want to compete week in and week out. I think when you say something like that, it's a little bit tone deaf to the club and what they're expecting. We're unfortunately not going to be talking about, arguably, as Nigel said, one of the best free kicks we've seen. The technique from Szoboszlai, again, wonderful strike. But there's so many question marks for me around this Liverpool team. I know it's not nice to say, but where's Mo Salah? When's he going to start up to the party? We gave him a little bit of an excuse. That right-hand side is completely different. Gakpo was average again today. Yes, they've got injuries, but when you start to look at this Liverpool team, it doesn't give you a sense of the feeling that this team won the league last year by 10 points. Crazy. 10 points clear. And when you look where they're at now, again, I could give you that little bit, Nigel, where you say, they've had injuries, they've had this. I get that. But you've also got stronger in every position because of the players you brought in. And now it seems like you're further away than you was last season, which to me is crazy. I agree with everything Troy said. I think for me, the only thing I would add is Liverpool had opportunities to win the game today. They had the better chances than Man City in this game. When you look back at the opportunities that they had, they didn't put the game to bed, especially in the second half. As we're watching that game, we're sitting there saying, Liverpool look like the team with the momentum, winning the sales. Yes, Szoboszlai scored a free kick, but they still. Did you get the feeling they could win it, though? I didn't get the feeling they could win it because I think they missed too many big chances for me to put this game to bed. And I just had that feeling from experience saying, when you're in games like this and you miss such a big chance, especially Ekitike's header, I said it in the back, Manchester City are going to win this game. Yeah. When you miss a chance like that, you just know as a player that the opposition is going to win. And for me, Liverpool have to blame themselves for not being clinical. So now that leaves Liverpool 4 points outside of 5th place Chelsea after the match day. It was mayhem on Merseyside, but a great win for Manchester City to keep them 6 points off the league leaders Arsenal. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you next time. Did you come up with that yourself? What, like and subscribe? No, mayhem in Merseyside. Yep.